What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the show. Hey, thank you so much for joining me this evening. Hope you're all doing well. The markets are pretty spicy today. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. We got the good, the bad, and well, the completely disappointing, I think, today in the market. So we're going to be breaking it down. We're going to be giving you the absolute alpha that you guys need to know for going into this weekend. Hopefully, we see a little bit more optimism in the market. But whoa me, what a life of a cryptocurrency investor when you look at the kind of price action we got today with, you know, Bitcoin rallying all the way up, hilariously, literally to the lower end of our breakout line that we've been touching on here. And yeah, as much as you kind of are, I'm sure, as the same as me, disappointed we didn't get the breakout. A couple of you guys were chatting in the Discord that were like, yeah, watch for the fake move. And do you know what? It literally hit it on the head. So we'll break down the charts. We'll sort of take a look at what's coming up. We'll get into the bit of a data. So if you're interested, we'll talk about the Supreme Court ruling or lack of. What does it mean? Why did they do it? What does all that kind of stuff? We'll get into that. We'll get into the jobs data. Came in bullish, by the way. So jobs data actually came in relatively good. So lots of positives in the market. But Bitcoin, well, it just decided it was going to do nothing. You know, Ethereum still struggling to hold 3,000. Solana, XRP, BNB, the only one in the top caps doing decent. Zebek Network had a reasonably good run. But anyway, we'll break all that down. As always, do me a quick favor, though. Smash up the like button and hit the subscribe button if you're brand new to the channel. We'd appreciate it. And yeah, let's say hello to a few people. I'm going to get right into this chart. The chart's pretty interesting, actually, so get ready. But yeah, welcome in Tim, Magic Craig. Good to see you, man. Welcome. Foz is here. Mohammed. Mohammed Burham in the building. What's going on? Viva La Bacon, like number 5. Let's get it, baby. Future, what's going on? Mark Noby, Griff, welcome in. Casey, good to see you, pal. Welcome in, Swamp, Future. And then shout out to everybody tuning in on TikTok as well. We've got Chowder in the building. What's going on? Bits Blazers here. 12pp. What's going on, son? Damien, what a pleasure it is to have you back, my man. Appreciate you guys all tuning in. And yeah, hopefully enjoying the content. And like I said, quite a lot to get into. If you didn't catch my videos earlier on, then definitely go and have a watch. I put quite a lot of effort and time into them. It feels like the more effort and time you put into them, the less people watch them. I was just kind of do a video that talks absolute gibberish for 8 minutes and people will probably watch it. But anyway, I'm not getting salty on it. That's what I'm not about. All takes time, this social media stuff, doesn't it? But I haven't had a new subscriber in 6 days. Oh, I'm laughing, but secretly deep down inside, I'm crying. But anyway, let's get into the charts. Let's break down what's going on, and hopefully we'll try and get some sense of what the heck is going on. Exit pump, Jay. Jay's bearish. Jay is bearish, so let me just do that. TikTok, you should be able to see that chart as well. In fact, I'm going a little bit nearer for you guys, actually. There you go, TikTok. I'm sorry if I've just invited about 1 million people. It's quite difficult with my fingers doing that. Hey, legends. Brandon Harris in the building. What's going on? So, welcome to... I don't even know what pattern this is. What would you call this pattern? The up and down pattern. Now, interesting, you could be mistaken for believing this is on like the 15-minute chart. This is the daily or the 12-hour candle for Bitcoin, and you can see here. Now, what's interesting with this chart, and I'll show you a trade that I... took a little bit earlier. Again, that's in the Discord. If you're interested, check out the link in the bio or the description. If you want to get into that Discord, it's totally free to join. But yeah, look at this on Bitcoin. So we still hold the 20-day exponential moving average. This big yellow line here that we've been sort of discussing for a while now. And probably one of the key... Mohammed, I'm not a big football fan, so I honestly don't care. But, you know, fair play. Fair play. But yeah, football got ruined for me when I was younger. I had mates that were like huge Arsenal supporters and it just all got a bit weird. So I literally don't care. But hey, you know what I mean? If I was being patriotic, I'd be like, come on, the tune. Anyway, the 20-day exponential moving average and the 50-day exponential moving average that we've been discussing here now on the channel for quite some time. Oh, you guys can't see my... Oh, bro, what? There you go. I know it's gone weird on YouTube. I'm sorry, but you oh, come on, broskies. Sorry, everybody. There we go. Sorry, it's because you couldn't see my cursor on the screen, so it just all got a bit weird. Anyway, so the 20-day exponential moving average is what we've got here. This is kind of a key level that we've been looking at, key level we've been watching, and, you know, certainly trying to keep an eye on what's going on this particular line. We've actually been, for many of you in the Discord, trading some of these moving averages because I think you can get a sense of market sentiment. Equally, you can get a sense of risk on, risk off, which I think is probably where we sit and feels like this market is driven by that. You look at the price action today on Bitcoin, driven hugely out of, are we going to get bad news on the tariffs? No, then we boom it. What it does tell us, and I'll discuss why I've put in the title that this could indicate we've got way more potential upside to come in this market because of the volatility that we saw. But at the same time, when we expected an outcome, what did that mean? And then what we got, also, what did that mean? Pump to 100k, then the kiss of death. Maybe, Jay, I think you're probably not wrong in fairness. We've been saying this. That's why our line here is sat at 91,000. And then we've said here on the charts, the bull market go or no go is literally the bottom range, 99,181. So that's kind of what we're looking for as a break. But here are the daily charts. You can see this move is still in play from this breakout here back on early parts of January. We're still trending within this range. I do want to see us back above the 20-day exponential moving average only because, look, you can see we're starting to tick down. So we've essentially lost the 20-day here on the 12-hour. We're holding the 50-day, which isn't the worst number to hold, but you want to see this push back up. And then this pink dotted line we've been talking about for a while as well, which essentially is being a key level of resistance that we're seeing so far. And actually, price has held up really, really well on this line. So what are we looking for in terms of a reversal? Bear in mind, we're going into the weekend. You know, last Saturday, we got a nice green candle, continued that uptrend. Is that going to happen? I'm not holding my breath. I've got to be honest with you guys. I'm not holding my breath for a big market rally over this weekend. Certainly not what we saw here. I think it will be good if we can hold and sort of, you know, don't drop below the 50-day exponential moving average. Now, going in a little bit nearer, this is kind of where it all starts to get a little bit interesting here on the charts and trying to understand exactly what we have got going and how this potentially is going to play out over the course of maybe the next couple of days. Now, you've got this kind of downtrend. We discussed this big macro downtrend here, which again, we have sort of respected on a number of different points. So you can see here, look, I mean, it's not the most accurate one, but, you know, here we've got rejected again here. What's interesting is the speed in which we go up and the aggressiveness in which we come back down. You can see we've retested price here. We broke price here, but you can't, you know, you can't count this because we went straight back down again to Goblin Town. So here we are on the 1 hour chart. You know, if you were looking for a potential price break, looking for something that's going to give us some upside, then, you know, you're absolutely kind of in this narrative here, aren't you? Where does it sit us? Around 90,367. What you can see here, though, is a lot of the exponential moving averages are down. Now, I do want you to pay special attention. I was looking at these charts earlier on. We're just trying to get a bit of a view as to kind of what's going on. And look at kind of how crazy some like this is here. Look, like you are not going to tell me, and I don't necessarily live in the world of like extreme manipulation, right? But if you were to look for signals, okay, how could I know that this market was being played with? All right, I think that's a fair assessment to make. Rather than it being manipulated, let's not call it manipulation. Let's call it, how do you know if the market's been played with? Well, I was starting to look at this and I was thinking, man, this just feels super, super strange. And if you take the lows here, this is on the volume charts, okay, so you can all see it here, and you take the highs, it all starts to play out really, really bizarrely, right? And you could say, well, maybe 2-bit, it's a coincidence. And I'd say, well, maybe it is. Maybe it is a coincidence. I don't know. You know what I mean? I'm not some sort of expert. I'm just a bloke that talks about crypto on the internet. But it all just seems a bit odd to me. So when you do this, what you see here is 3 very obvious setups in terms of volume. You have the traditional standard of just, this is the basic trading volume right now. How the market feels, Tuesday to Tuesday is generally what we see. So look, for example, Tuesday the 6th, all the way through here. It's just a generally flat day. Then you get these big spikes that coming around the US market open. So again, if you look where we are here, Asia opens, trade through the day, 2 o'clock. This is US open here on Monday. Then you get kind of the trade through the day. Nothing really happens. Boom, you get the US open here. So what we can decipher a little bit here, in my opinion anyway, is that the US markets are absolutely the crux to driving the bull market. And I know people go, well, that's obvious to a bit. Like, what the hell are you talking about? Of course, the US markets are the ones we're going to look at. But, you know, Asia's been predominantly buying recently. For the first day, actually, today, EU dumped, which is super bizarre. Here's the EU dump. We haven't seen this. When you look at each day, look, no EU dump, no EU dump. You know, little bit here on Wednesday, a little bit on Thursday. Nothing super crazy. Here was the first day. Today was consistent selling by European markets that we got in. So essentially what we're looking for then is we need the US markets to chill out, to look to be a buyer, not a net seller. And that's pretty difficult at the minute. We're not going to get that. But this is where I think the tariff news or the tariff decision, BTC is the best crypto, what's going on, Ramuncho? Actually probably tells us a little bit more about where we think the markets are or where we think Trump thinks the market are. And as much as people say, well, Trump can't tell the Supreme Court, of course he can. He's the president of the United States. I'm not saying he has, by the way. But there's very little information that's come out as to why the Supreme Court has decided after all of this time to not announce their decision on tariffs. Like, what else do they need to be aware of? But this is definitely something we absolutely should be watching. US market opens are right now, and have done all week, dumped the market. Okay, so the US is going to be the crux of if we get further pushes to the upside. You can see this if you go back into here as well. What happens that's different when the market is trending to the upside? The US markets do not dump. Okay, so we can say then we need ETFs, institutions, maybe retail companies, whatever, to buy the dip, or certainly coming and start buying, because start buying from US generally is going to push markets high. You can see RSI here trending on the hourly chart. Even if you go up to say the 4-hour chart, you can see exactly the same sort of patterns playing out. So again, these won't obviously correlate because you can't put really indicators on volume, but you can see exactly the same sort of pattern plays out here in the 4-hour chart and has done historically now for the longest time. Obviously, the time window is a little bit shorter. So for me, this is a really, really important narrative. Now, the other thing to note here really quickly, while we just discuss the charts, is look at this key level. We've this is, you know, if you didn't respect or didn't have anything else to go by, you were like, whatever, I don't really care. This is absolutely what you should have on your calendar. 91,939. Look at the wick here we got earlier on today. So this was obviously the spike post going into US market opens when we got the tariff announcements that they weren't going to announce them. Now, what do you see here? And why is this important? And we'll touch on the tariff announcement in just a second. But essentially from the top here that we got has all been around tariff announcement, Supreme Court announcement, nervousness. Everything's been like, oh man. And, you know, again, this line that we've been discussing, this respect of this line, you know, as it come down, this tariff has been hanging over us from here. And interestingly enough, is still hanging over us from this push down in the market. What we can decipher though is when we got that announcement to say, look, tariffs are not going to get an announcement today. So the US Supreme Court's not going to announce tariffs. What happens? The market spiked and spiked aggressively. So here it is, 3 o'clock. We went from the lower range that we have here, 89,921, almost the line we need to hold right now to continue this move that we're in. If we don't, then we're probably going to see some push down. What's interesting, though, is this enormous wick all the way up, literally touching. I mean, I promise I have not changed anything on this chart. I have not done anything at all. I mean, look how close that is. Look how close that is. So we know that there is a big sell wall here. We've been discussing this for a while. And you can see this on the order books for BTC. Again, we discussed this the other day. Around 99,000. Not 99,000. What the hell am I talking about? 91,900. And again, when you look at this, you can absolutely see where this is playing out. So 91,900, 92,000. Look at this. You've got, you know, the best part of nearly 350 Bitcoin that you're going to have to break through in order to push price higher. So again, this is kind of giving us some really key areas on liquidity zones that we absolutely need to be mindful of. And we can kind of clearly see that on there. So it is super interesting that we get that on that chart analysis and that is kind of where we get. Now, the problem is until we actually get some solid momentum, we're probably not going to do anything other than just continue this move down. But we are potentially due for the break. And I think if we do get a short-term break here on the hourly, then we might be in some good news. The problem seems to be right now, everything is against us. All right. Everything seems to be pushing down the markets. Loads of people obviously giving it the whole, it's manipulated, everything's just going down, all of that. Okay, fine, right? Fine. It is what it is. But at the same time, you know, we are absolutely in a world where we need to see some net buyers step into the markets. And if we don't get those, then yeah, we're not going to get too much on the rest of it. So that just gives you a little bit of chart analysis there on BTC. What's going on TikTok? This gives you a bit of a chart analysis where I'm looking at on BTC right now. I think you are shadow banned. I got out and couldn't find you anymore. Went to your page, no live. Oh, really? Why do you think that would be though? I mean, it feels like I am everywhere at the minute. I don't know why. It literally feels like I am everywhere. YouTube views are down, video views are down. Like, yeah, it's wild. It's like they're going, no, this guy is thinking about going full time. He's thinking about doing it properly. I absolutely make sure that you can't find him. Yeah, I don't know why. I don't know why, mate. It's kind of annoying, but yeah, it's wild if that's the case. I mean, literally, like no one's talking on. You guys talking on YouTube as well or not? Yeah, it's just super, super crazy at the minute. My chat rate is 0 on YouTube. Can you guys see me all right? Is everyone here? Who? I mean, I don't know what's going on. All right, yeah, okay, cool. You are all there. You are all there. I look, okay. Okay, yeah, cool. You guys are just maybe intently watching the content. Intently watching it. Love it. You don't show up as being live. I mean, that's wild. That's wild. Why would I not show up as being live? It's crazy. Crazy. I mean, oh my God, what am I doing here? Yeah, I mean, it's just, who knows? I mean, who knows? It is unfortunately the world of social media, I think. Sometimes you think you're the best thing since sliced bread, and other times you're absolutely nothing. Hey ho, we'll keep trucking on. I mean, in this instance like this, there's literally nothing you can do about it, is there? So anyway, right. Hyper focus on the content. Griff, blue, beautiful. So here you go with BlackRock as well, the debate here. So we saw a significant number of selling over 10 hours ago. And I think for me personally, by the way, this was just them nervous. All right. Tariffs, nervousness, all that kind of stuff. They were like, man, decouple from this market. Let's not take a risk if we don't need to. Let's absolutely get out. So yeah, BlackRock dumping there. A little bit more Bitcoin here today over the last 10 hours. Interestingly, net buyers on a short term, but then ultimately did sell. So, you know, kind of crazy to think about that. You know, BlackRock, unfortunately, just, you know, deciding, hey, we're out. And this is what I'm saying when we need to, when we need the market to push with us, it is, you know, elements like BlackRock not dumping. I mean, look at the aggressiveness here. Probably what, $270 million dumped today. Loads of ETH dumped. So am I surprised the BTC pushed down? No, absolutely not. I think we would, you know, sort of see that. Whoever they must have a lot of money because the market goes up on average of 5% across the board, then dumps 5%. So not a lot being made at the percent. I mean, that's true. That's true. Chaos Tracker says I'm doing the dishes. Beautiful, beautiful. So yeah, so that's kind of where we get to. So the big debate though is why. So the US Supreme Court deciding not to release a highly anticipated ruling on the legality of President Trump's tariffs. The odds of President Trump's tariff being ruled as legal surge to 31%. I mean, it's not the biggest number in the world. We just didn't want to interrupt stream elements. It's not the biggest number in the world, but I think also what's probably worth noting here is that we now wait till Wednesday. So we're going to get an announcement on Wednesday that the tariff situation is coming back out. All right, cool. And let's wait till Wednesday. Does it change the narrative? Maybe not. Is it going to change the narrative? Probably not. So I think we just have to kind of wait and see, really. And, you know, ultimately kind of sort of wait what it plays out as. I still stand by the fact that I don't think they roll them back. Personally, I said this the other day, I don't believe that they will vote against them, albeit the odds are stacked against the Trump administration. I don't think they do. The like potential of doing the rebates, the refunds, 1,000 companies have sued the administration, like all sorts of, you know, stuff, I think would just be very difficult to manage personally. So that's why I don't see we get it. But, you know, lots of people were nervous, but, you know, we'll see. There is obviously a significant amount of trade policy. I mean, they've come out, haven't they, and said Venezuela is going to be dumping $50 million barrels of oil back into the US. They've now seized another tanker. Like, it's all a bit crazy if you ask me. But yeah, I think what was interesting though was the fact that the market was so volatile on that news. I mean, this is the entire tariff situation here, which is kind of crazy as well to think about. So, yeah, pretty wild. We just didn't want to interrupt stream elements. So I agree. If they don't go against tariffs, then we've got to cut rate. Well, exactly. But, I mean, the Fed doesn't look like they're going to cut rates anytime soon as well. I mean, we'll talk about that in just a second. But, yeah, look at that move. That is literally the tariff announcement move today, which is kind of wild. So, yeah. Casey, what's going on, buddy? Welcome in. Good to see you, man. So, yeah, I mean, the reason why I say about the rate cuts is, well, let's jump towards this. So, the 2025... worst year for job growth. Now, US economy added 50,000 jobs, which is actually okay. Like, that's okay. 50,000 jobs, all right. Expectations, ADP was 41, 50,000 jobs in the US, fine. It's still negative. If you think Jerome Powell talked about negative 60,000 of these, and revisions are pretty wild, if you ask me. But, you know, the total yearly jobs was not great either. So 584,000 jobs in 2025. The worst year for job gains outside of a recession since 2003. That's a pretty big number, isn't it? But what you could say is, well, jobs are increasing-ish from where they were sort of lower part of the middle of the year. Unemployment rate was 4.4 in December. That's actually up from 4%. So employment ticks up over the course of the year. And wages at 3.8, wage growth 2025, which is about 3% inflation. So, we can definitely sort of see a let's call it an easing and certainly not a decline, right? And I think that's probably the key thing that a lot of people were hoping for, not a decline in jobs. And, essentially that's what we didn't get. So this then supports the narrative of no rate cuts. And as much as I think people want them, it's not going to come. If you have stability in the labor market, which is essentially what the Fed has positioned themselves, then you're not going to get it. And in fact, 95% likelihood that we don't get a rate cut in January. What's even crazier is now it's a 70% chance that we don't get a rate cut in March, which means April probably feels pretty bearish as well. 57% unlikely. June, maybe the first time. Maybe the first time that we might get a rate cut, right? Which is kind of wild if you think about it. At this point, though, I guess worth noting here, this would be the new Fed chair. Okay, so, this would be the new Fed chair that we definitely then, potentially would get a new Fed chair that might dump rates. I mean, that'd be great. Kevin Hassett, for example, we all know is probably going to be pro-Trump and pro-Trump policy. But yeah, it's going to be wild. So on the back of obviously this news, then it's not particularly great for rate cuts. It's good for labor markets and I guess economy overall, but actually broadly, it's probably not great. Stop talking too bit. JP may be watching. I mean, that's also true as well, in fairness. But, lots of people are, lots of people are kind of jumping on the bandwagon. You promised the biggest boom in, jobs and in the economy. And, well, it's just kind of not happened. All right. It's just kind of not happened. Damien, thank you so much for the heart, maze. Appreciate it. So yeah, but that's kind of why people are freaking out a little bit. And I guess that's why, again, we see this kind of macroeconomic uncertainty and that plays out in risk assets. You only have to look into what's going on. Gold surges 1.2, silver surges 3.7. It should tell you everything you need to know. Is crypto dead? No, it's not. Are people risk off? Yes. All right. And you can see that. The DXY ticking up just marginally. The S&P rallied a little bit. Silver futures still look incredibly bullish going into the weekend. So you expect a rally on silver again. The Russell up around 0.5, telling us that generally, people are optimistic of small caps and mid caps, which is kind of wild in the stock market. They're way more interested in making risk plays in there versus Memecoins, an example. S&P just closed another all-time high. Crackerjack. Yeah, I know. It's wild, isn't it? 6964. Didn't quite break 7,000, but yeah, again, that kind of whole Trump narrative, pretty wild. I used to be worried about XRP winning a court case. I know, think about it, like, it's crazy. Where you got Will the Bit Financial watching from, I was about to decide to chop my tendons in. Oh, bro, what the heck? The other point to note here, by the way, is obviously US Treasury bonds are increasing. People are going into them, like, 3.5% on the 20-year, like, all right, cool. And then stocks, look, stocks rallied. This is the problem we've got right now in the crypto market. It's like, bro, give me a break. Look at this. Oracle, 4.7% here on a daily candle as energy comes down. And I think you'll see this as oil ticks down from expectations of markets flooding with oil from Venezuela. Expect data centers, AI stocks to tick up. You've got Broadcom ticking up. You've got Oracle ticking up, for example. Tesla ticked up today. Like, decent numbers as well. Like, think about some of the market caps on these. 2.5% on Tesla is absolutely wild. While at the same time, we're like, bro, just hold on to 90,000 Bitcoin. Come on. What the heck, bro? Anyway, so that kind of gives you an idea where they are. There are a couple of outliers within the altcoin market, but nothing too crazy. RPM could have been worse. Well, I mean, that's true, Curtis. That's true. So, yeah. Pretty interesting if you ask me, though. Pretty interesting all in all. But yeah, whether we get a rate cut. I mean, World of Bit Financial was actually doing pretty well, but down. This is the crazy thing with this market right now. You get the smallest move to the upside, and then a couple of days later, it's like, right, off you go back down to Goblin Town. Anyway, even XCM that's been absolutely ripping recently, down 4%. Jasmine took a cool off today as well. No surprise, down 6.5%. So, Jasmine taking a little bit of a hit here. ICP rallying tiny little bit. pump fun. Memecoins having a decent rally could show a sign that maybe this is starting to tick up. You know, if you think about how Memecoins kind of moved when we moved last Thursday, maybe it's going to be a big thing. Who knows? Who knows? Maybe we get a little bit of momentum building up. Andy Smith, what's going on, man? Welcome in. You know, let's see. Let's see. I think we've definitely got a little bit in front of us, which is kind of interesting. Now, a couple of macro stuff. What's going on then? Look at this. Whale holdings continue to be a big driver. They're not buying, is what I was saying right at the very start of the show. Unfortunately, people are risk off. And when I say risk off, they're just not buying any cryptocurrency. So, you know, historically, where we've seen massive accumulations and rally in price, then we have seen accumulations here. Now, that could play out differently in 2026. Is this signaling the bottom? You know, there's 2023 negative 220 in terms of exchange volumes, mining pools, and everything else. The latest crypto quant data is telling us that over the past year, offloading 220,000 Bitcoin. So, in one hand, you've had this like unbelievable macro adoption of the crypto space. And then this other hand, you like all the OGs, all the big money's like, yep, time for me to rotate and get out there. Could signal you're going to get some crazy upsides, may not. All right. Definitely interesting to see. But, you know, we've definitely seen this before, and we've then seen massive rallies on the back of it. You know, you go back to 21 as an example, coming off that big bull market. You know, was this the top? Was the 24, 25 year maybe the top? Was 25, 26 just the cool off? Who knows? How come we're dumping again, mate? Well, you just, the markets are risk off right now. And as much as we did get a pump earlier on, it was just a fake out. You know, this was like, oh, tariff news are fine. And the problem you've got here, and I always say this whenever you have this narrative, is that the minute you get some upside, people are just dumping into it. They're just selling into it. Take some profits. Everyone's like, you know, whereas before everyone's just like, we're going to the moon. Like, it doesn't matter. I just hold your coins into oblivion. You'll make loads of money. Like, people are like, nah, bro, 2x, I'm out. So you just, you know, you just get this stop and start in the market right now. The macro is kind of what we're interested in. But yeah, whatever you have this as well, where you just have no big money buying coins, that's a problem. And even if you bring it down to a really low level in terms of just average, you know, average investors, 9-to-5ers, you know, I haven't bought any coins for, God, I don't even know, actually, a while. Couple of meme coins here, couple of meme coins there, nothing crazy, but actual, you know, investments into good altcoins or what I think is going to be good. I'm just like, nah, man, I'm going to sit in stablecoin and see. Obviously, you know, you guys know I moved about 50% of my portfolio in stablecoins, about 108,000 on Bitcoin. But yeah, I'm kind of sitting there where we sit right now. Interesting enough, the altcoins are now making up roughly 50% of total crypto trading volume, surpassing Bitcoin at 27% and Ethereum at 23% as traders rotate into higher beta assets. Again, this is kind of telling us like it's, you know, it's kind of everyone's sort of jumping into where they can make a bit of a change, but they're in and out. That's the thing. You know, no one's got conviction in what they're playing right now. No one's got conviction in their longer term players. Everyone's just like buy in, get a 2x, get out of there. Kind of wild when you think about it. But altcoins, we have, for what we have in the market, is actually seeing a little bit of momentum. And what's worth noting here, just dead quick, number of addresses holding more than 100 Bitcoin hit a new all-time high. So if you think, what, $9.5 million wallets, actually, we've seen more of them than ever. So people are kind of, you know, getting into it. They're just very strategic investors, I think. And, you know, strategic investors are not going to pump prices to oblivion. You almost need completely irrational FOMO buyers. That's how you drive markets up. And we haven't got that at the minute. We haven't got it in retail. We haven't got it in insatiable demand from institutions. And wherever you've got the likes of BlackRock and you've got many others selling into the pumps, you're always going to come up against a, you know, a really challenging market right now. Now, what is worth noting a little bit here, by the way, obviously with this kind of cool off and these kind of volatility we've seen in the market, only about $105 million liquidated on the longs, which is kind of nice. But, you know, look at this. It just proves the point I'm making. Outflows. Like ETFs been absolutely dumping. Today will be no exception. You know, 2,100 out of BlackRock. We looked at that early on at the very start of the stream. So, you know, once again, we're definitely seeing some capitulation here out of the market. But fingers crossed we get there. Yeah, do that many times. The job irritates you out. What? I haven't bought anything in 2 weeks, Robert Dover. Yeah, fair play. Fair play. We need another big move from Ripple. Well, it just got announced as being, is it FDC licensed in the UK? That's pretty interesting. I also saw another statistic, by the way, about the UK that said 15,000... Was it 15,000 millionaires left the UK? Just saying. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. SW Farms, what's going on? Zafar with the rose. Thank you, man. Appreciate that. So, yeah, okay, let's get into a couple of bigger things then. Let's talk about a little bit of news, and then we'll sort of get into what you guys want to talk about. How can XRP drop in line with all the others who offer no utility? Because you've got two very different types of investors. You've just got people who are in it to make some money on it. I know that sounds insane because that's pretty much what most of us are here to do, but I think that's why you see it. Broader, as much as you can be super macro bullish on Ripple, it's still going to be affected by broader markets as well. But yeah, the Wall Street Journal analyst signals dovish Fed policy in 2025. I mean, that could be pretty interesting. Why they would be in 2025, I don't know, because it's 2026 now. But anyway, Wall Street Journal's Fed whispers. Nick Travis reports US added 61,000 jobs monthly on average in 2025, marking it the worst private sector we've got. But what does it look like for the year ahead? Well, the fact is that the frequent drive market sentiment changes as Fed whispers that provides insight that influence rates desk strategies. Markets reactions can ripple through digital assets, creating both opportunities and volatility in the market. And he says here, look, that BTC trades in the broad economic concerns with total supply here, and BTC maintains dominance in the cryptocurrency market. So again, Fed policy was weak in 2025, essentially what they're saying, and the US employment figures noting that the weakest private sector jobs growth since 2003. So what they're saying there is you almost want a dovish Fed policy. Well, Stephen Mirren's been talking about for ages that, Fed policy is out by about 1.5%, if you think about it that way, that we should be now at 2% probably, isn't it? Between 2 and 1.75. And actually, there's a real chance that you could even see by the end of this year, like under 2% inflation, which would be pretty crazy if you think about it. Another reason why I think they probably don't roll back on the tariffs, by the way, but that's kind of interesting. The Clarity Act, obviously, we think is going to come Thursday. Fingers crossed, that could be good news. We'll have to sort of see how this plays out, but yeah, we will get to it. What is important, we've been talking about this for a while. This is essentially going to stop things like October 10th, all right? This is kind of where it goes. So what you've got will be that they will be, audit is the wrong word really, but they will stop being able to kind of dump all this. They'll have accountability if they create problems. So, a safeguard against future crashes. Now, again, if APIs fail and all this kind of stuff, then yeah, I think that's where it's going to get to. But this should stop this kind of whole drain of liquidity out of the markets by market makers, driving price one way or the other. It should stop all that, which is probably why we're seeing so much of it right now, because it's a bit like, well, they're trying to get as much as they can now before they're not going to be able to. And as much as, lots of people call manipulation, I don't know if I'm fully on board with that, but yeah, pretty well. Yeah, I mean, the UK banning X is also insane, but yeah, that's a totally different video, but yeah, interesting. What do you think? What do you think crash coming? No, if I'm honest, I think, yeah, I don't think there's a crash coming just yet. We're talking about the Clarity Act, vote on Thursday. They could pass it. It could pass on Thursday, could be in. We'll have to kind of wait and see, but yeah, interesting. That was the data just on job payrolls, or specifically non-farm payrolls. We discussed that. Not really anything too crazy. Gives you a little bit of a breakdown as to where some of them were. As we expected, a lot in the leisure and hospitality area, as opposed to manufacturing, which aligns to the ISM that we've been talking about. All right, so nothing really super new on that. And yeah, like we said, this is kind of where everything sits. 122 milli on the long. That's not actually that bad. If you think we've had extreme volatility of about, 4% swing on the day. If we go from bottom to top, 2.5% swing on the day. We could have seen way worse when it comes to this. But worth noting a little bit, by the way, Q1 is still green, 3.41%. For Bitcoin, Ethereum 3.7%. Whether that still sits tomorrow, I don't know. And then we can see this playing out as it is at the minute. January 3.5%. Good news. That is a reasonably good place. And obviously, we are still in the first week, but negative first week here. So interesting. Don't hold your breath for clarity next Thursday. No, well, it's just a vote, isn't it? It's the first vote. They're putting it to a vote, and it's like, well, let's just see how people feel about it. So. I'm not holding my breath. If anything, I don't believe that we'll get it. But yeah, just my view that we'll see. We'll see. What it'll give us is where there is a bipartisan view of it. Is that going to give us a little bit more of a view that how easily or not that it could go through. That's probably what we're looking for, isn't it? Here we go then. Look at this. Interestingly playing out, retesting this line. We said that, didn't we? 90,460. Man, that just must have been a nice buy coming in. Here we go. Look at that. 137. Maybe some big futures contracts coming in. So, yeah. Decent little bit of a mover and groover here coming in with some decent volume, actually. 90,005. We just broke over that line. So we'll keep this open. It'll give us an indication of what's coming in right now. Yeah, BTC looking to retest that short-term line, which would be good if we can break that. Any chance? Yeah, 100%. I would be incredibly surprised if they all managed to vote on that and it passed. I'd be like incredibly surprised. I mean, it'd be pretty bullish for markets, but yeah, not sure they would. Bunker with MS watching. What's going on, Bunker? What's going on, buddy? Welcome into you. Hope you're doing well. But yeah, I don't think we get it. You know, it'd be good to get a vote. I think that's the key thing, isn't it? Let's see where the land lies. That'll probably play us out in what could come and probably how quickly it's going to go back through. You know, let's say it misses by 10 votes. You're going to expect that to come back in pretty quickly, though, aren't you? In my opinion. In my opinion. Right. Okay. Good. Right. Got any questions, by the way? Don't forget, hit it up in the chat. Likewise, shout out to everybody that's here on TikTok. Thank you so much for tuning in. We appreciate you, and also here on YouTube as well. I appreciate you guys as well. And yeah, don't forget, I will be live tomorrow, Saturday, day off tomorrow, recharge the batteries, but more on that a little bit later on in the show. Okay, so we've looked at the jobs data, which, you know, was kind of all right, really. It's, you know, not super crazy. Next week, just to give you a bit of an idea as to where we are going to go, is going to get pretty spicy, as you would expect. We go into core inflation and CPI, as well as PPI next week as well. So, you know, pretty bullish week. Hopefully that's going to give us some good indications. It's going to be volatile, all right? Feels like that's the story of the day, isn't it? But PPI expectations, 0.3, consensus 0.2 is what we hope to get. So, yeah. I sell my bag Wednesday night and buy back in Thursday. The vote not passing going to tank all crypto short term. Maybe. I mean, right now, you've definitely got... I would say right now, the market is way more bearish leaning than bullish leaning, if that makes sense. So, we're definitely in a macro downtrend for sure. Definitely in a really challenging downtrend, I think, as well. So, I think any good news will probably be wiped out relatively quickly. We need sustained moves. We need good volume. And I think we should be all right. But, yeah, we're just going to get through it, I think, at the minute. Do you think the Clarity Act will pass Thursday? No. No, I don't. I don't think it will. In fact, I'd be, other than really obvious, you know, decisions, I don't honestly remember anything that's kind of gone through quick. The question, I think, will be, what do the markets do on the way up to that point? Do we see it sell off? You could argue the tariff announcements were a sell-off. You know, they were selling off into potentially what we got now. Bunker Time says, watching from Canada. Let's go, baby. What's going on? Welcome in. We're global. We're global here on this channel. Oh, dear. I appreciate you, man, for sure, turning up. Bringing it. So, yeah. So, next week definitely could be pretty interesting. Other news to note, by the way, XRP ETFs slowed in volume, now 25 million over the course of the last 24 hours. Right now, and I don't mean this in any way negative, and I don't mean this in like a bad way, but nobody cares about crypto right now. Nobody cares. You can see it in views on YouTube. You can see it in sentiment. You can see it in live streams. You can see it in ETFs. You can see it in everything. Like, everyone's just like, oh, crypto, what? What the magic internet money? No, thank you very much. I'm okay. I'm going to stick with gold, baby, because that's what it's all about. And, you know, people are just FOMOing hard right now on gold. That's like, buy more gold. Must buy gold. You know, gold's going to go for another all-time high pretty soon. And yeah, silver is. The bigger debate is what happens when that bubble pops. And I still stand by it. I still think it's a manufactured move. I still think it's a deliberate, you know, pump from, you know, certain miners of these particular commodities. But yeah, we'll see what we get to with it. But I totally expect silver to roll over, by the way. Yeah, FCA. I knew it was the FCA. Yeah, I couldn't remember what it was. Yeah, Ripple coming to the UK. Is that? I mean, hopefully it's kind of good news, I think. And hopefully it will be positive. Again, though, it's like a lot of this stuff just takes time to get out, doesn't it? So, you know, great that we're coming to the FCA. Great they've been approved. Lots of companies don't. Okay, what does it mean? what does it go to? I mean, like the Amazon partnership, that's a pretty big deal. I dropped a video about that earlier. And I'm not being bitter when I say this, by the way. No one cares. No one cares. People are way more interested in going to watch. In fact, I just shouldn't do this. This is probably why I get no views. Because I just start whinging about stuff. Stop whinging, 2-bit. Stop whinging. Oh, man. What's mad is that they announced Tariff's market dump, and now they're going to dump the market because Tariff's got to stop China. It's wild. It's wild. Like, you look at some of the videos that come out about XRP, and they're just nonsense. They're such nonsense. It's unbelievable. And then you're like, oh, what? Oh, man. For example, look at this. 1,000 people are watching this channel. XRP watch. Trump speaks big oil live. Okay, it's oil. It's about oil, bro. It's something to do with XRP. What? Oh, my God. Urgent. This 99.9% confirms a major XRP move next week. Does it? Does it? Anyway, what is peanut price prediction? Peanut? Are people even still buying that thing? I mean, man, that's like an old OG meme. OG meme. Wild. I think people just getting on precious metals will be stuck for a very long time if they don't get it. I mean, that's true. I mean, the fact that you have this like overhyped FOMO narrative of it is pretty wild, in fairness. I mean, this is a new favorite, by the way. XRP biblical breakout. Oh, man. Come on. I'm actually secretly crying, you know. Oh, man. Come on. Get it together. It's been more exciting building snowmen in East Midlands, and I can imagine it probably has, actually. It probably has. Yeah, anyway, I put a video out. I'm like, hey, guys, go and look at this. Why XRP and AWS a huge deal? And it is. It's a massive deal for XRP and RLUSD. No one cares. Everyone's like, shut up, 2-bit. No one gives a shit about that. No one cares about what you think. No one cares. Oh, anyway. Valdo, what's going on, buddy? Welcome in. Good to see you, man. Been a minute. Hope you're doing well. I just with the metals comment. There's more. Yeah, I mean, 100%. I mean, look, the thing with gold, silver, eventually it will roll over. It's just when and how hard. I mean, but it's been on. Look, I mean, look at this. Look at this daily candles and the daily narrative for gold. It's like it is absolutely going to the moon right now. You're not gonna be able to argue with that. I mean, in theory, you know, it's sending. I've cabin fever now, day 7, stuck in the house, and I've oh, bro, you got power cut, Rob. I've been seeing your videos, actually. It looks wild. Not a flake of snow has landed here. Not one single flake of snow. But yeah. I mean, I haven't even heard anything out of the Trump administration for that oil thing. I mean, we all know what it's about. It's like, is that a big deal? I don't know, maybe it is. Anything, Curtis, yeah? Just every video. I'm so bullish. Ah! Global bond sales jumped 26%. Wow, everyone's buying bonds. Oh, here we go. We have 55% of the oil in the world. President Trump is combining US, Venezuelan energy dominance while American drilling is recent levels. Okay. Yeah, so we kind of know it's about oil, like big time, don't we? It's all about oil. President Trump on posting and released labor market data. When people give me things, I post them. Yeah, because he sort of announced the jobs data before he should have done, really, didn't he? Which is almost pretty crazy as well. Almost pretty crazy. My sister's a power cut in Cornwall for 24 hours so far. Wow. I haven't had a power cut for ages. Right. Anyway, where are we sitting? BTC right now is 90,300. So yeah, not doing anything super crazy right now. Ranging pretty aggressively, actually. And just being super boring, I think, is the best way. Always what's going on. Always correct. I mean, your title says it. What happened to the missing data? They were never... Yeah, it's never going to get released. It's literally never going to get released. Trump was just like, oh, yeah, well, it's gone now. We just don't have it. So, yeah, sorry about that. Sorry about that. It's not coming, baby. If we don't rush in China, we'll take over Greenland. Oh, man, he's still pushing the Greenland thing. It's wild. I mean, I heard Greenland are actually going to go and get in some talks with him, which is even more crazy when you think about it. But, yeah. Kind of wild. Kind of wild. Okay. I mean, it's just a lot about oil, a lot about Greenland, a lot about Trump tariffs. It's like, okay, fine. Fine. Hey, bro, how was your day at work? It's me, 3am India guy who waits for you. Did it come live? Can you please check? Night. It's dumping hard past 6 days. Ah, bro, what's going on, Behave? Good to see you, man. Welcome in. Hope you're doing well. Yeah, it was, I had a good day at work, actually. I always look forward to the streams, though. I'm not gonna lie. They're always, I always kind of like looking forward to it. Man, it's down 11%. Why is it down so much? What? Kevin says FCA license means that they can legally trade as a financial entity in the UK. Essentially. Yeah, man, this is wild. Why has it been dumping so hard? I mean, look at that. That's crazy. That is crazy. According to Canada, focus night surpassed 20 Jan 7th, Jan 8th. By releasing something to billions and trillions, for example, midnight, okay. I mean, I don't know why it's dumping, in fairness. I don't know why it's dumping, but yeah, I mean, that's pretty hard. Where's it at right now? 1.11 billion market cap, 41 million. Have they had like a token unlock or something? Let's have a look. Token unlocked. Let's see. What's going on, Vern? Good to see you, buddy. Welcome in. Yeah, it doesn't look like it. I mean, I can't see anything for it, so not sure why we're seeing a. I mean, there's loads of rumors that the Zcash stuff was like deliberate, and everyone's like, "Oh, they're just releasing a new wallet." Like, busted. Whether that's true or not, I've no idea. But yeah, Scary, what's going on, buddy? But yeah, there's no news really about this night token. The only thing I can think is that, yeah, you've seen you've seen the FOMO maybe die off. People have maybe decided that they want to go somewhere else. I don't know if Charles Hoskins has like talked about it or done anything with it, but I've not seen any reason as to why that it would be dumping so hard, other than people are just like, man, I'm sort of done with it. Selma, what's going on, buddy? US after Iceland next. Mums won't be happy. I mean, that's true, to Pete. That's true. But yeah, I mean, there's no reason. TLDR and Zcash thing. So developers quit yesterday after falling out with the company that took them over, and then went to start a new company and announced a brand new decentralized wallet, basically. And the rumor mill is that it was all a bit of a play, as like because a big FOMO play. I mean, if you look at Zcash, it actually held up pretty well. Came back. We talked about it yesterday as a potential trade. Came back kind of from the bottom here. Look, I actually tweeted this in the Discord and said, "Hey, this could be an opportunity at 380." Did wick back up, and I still think, by the way, it's still going to roll over a little bit further. And I said that once we did that full fundamental analysis on Zcash, the token, and the team, it was a bit like, gotta be careful of this one. So yeah, pretty interesting. Glitchy network and token unlock is why Night is falling. Oh, is it actually a downtime? Not good if it has. Not good if it has. So yeah, but that was it with the Zcash thing. And then, like I said, they come out and said, "Hey, we're gonna." They're hanging just around the wallet, is what I heard. They're hanging just added the wallet, is what I heard in space. Right. But yeah, I think that's why we saw that, basically. Pretty interesting. Pretty interesting. It'll be crazy if it all just doubles back and they were like, oh, yeah, well, it's just a great marketing ploy. You're like, come on, really? Really? But yeah, Zcash, definitely an interesting one. I think what's interesting going into the weekend, by the way, memes are trying to rally back a little bit, which I think is super interesting. Let's take a look. Memes up 1.68% over the course of the last 24 hours. I mean, look at some of these. Look at this, by the way. So market cap down about 1%, volume down 20%. That's pretty crazy. With let's see what the gainers are in the last 24 hours. I mean, no idea what this is. Pippin, the white whale. Man, that thing continues to rally. It's a $118 million market cap. Like, what? Bro, we looked at that yesterday as a potential. We were looking at, what was it, at 101? We looked at it something yesterday. So yeah, some big movers here on the meme coin space. Maybe memes are like coming back. Mod coin. Someone asked me about that the other day, actually. Mod coin, something nearly 15% of the week. Official Trump coin. I mean, whatever. Yeah, it's kind of wild if you think about it. It's kind of wild if you think about it, everybody. How do you put it back into... Anyway, so, I mean, this could tell us that we might get a little bit of movement over the weekend. I mean, that would be pretty interesting if we did. You know, if we see things like Pepe start to rally. Someone was asking about Pengu the other day. I think what's interesting is they're all wicking off this same line, you know, here on the 12-hour, this 100-day exponential moving average. Loads of them are holding this line right now. You know, Bonk's trading just above it. All of them, 100-day exponential moving average. Could signal a move. Teller. Yeah, some people were asking about that the other day. What's that doing right now? Start doing right now. $21. So it's migrated to a new contract. But yeah, up 0.5%. I mean, volume's down a little bit, but you know, loads of people are yeah, this and I always get the two mixed up. This and Tau I get confused with. But yeah, TRB, this one, isn't it? But yeah, certainly holding up right now. Tim says, hit me. Didn't even catch us, guy. What's that? Oh, Tibber doing? Is it it's a virtual Tiber, TIBBR. Did we look at that before? Up 0.85, market cap 190, volumes down 30%. So, but yeah, look at the macro trend. Yeah, you had these big wicks up back in the last years. Everyone sort of got optimistic, but I mean, uptrend still decent on that one. Still decent in fairness. So, but yeah, this whole meme narrative could be pretty interesting. Outside of that, like, you know, we just need Bitcoin to do something. It's like that meme, isn't it? Where it's like, do something. People are just poking Bitcoin. You're like, do something. Come on. Give us something to work with here, BTC. But yeah, it doesn't feel like we are. But like I said, this move's still in a confirmational move, if you ask me. So, you know, we'll see. We'll see. We'll stay close to it. Yeah, I never really looked at the Virtuals protocol. I probably should have got into that way more than I have, but yeah. Is the population of Greenland big on crypto? Rumor Trump will offer up to 100,000 per person for Greenland. Imagine how much BTC they could buy. Well, I tweeted about they should offer the tax rebates and tariff revenue in Bitcoin. That'd be a good idea, I think. Get people into the markets. You know, I mean, if you see American Bitcoin bought more Bitcoin the other day as well. I mean, maybe they know something we don't. Maybe they know something we don't. I mean, who knows? I mean, there's insider allegations on, you know, hyperliquid and all sorts of nonsense in there, but well, 1 BTC per person. I mean, yeah, I mean, I don't think anyone needs to be greedy, do they? No one wants to be greedy. That's not my name. Boo boo. Magna population 600,000. Oh, there you go. I mean, it's a chunk. Do you think 0.2 BTC is enough? Enough for what, though? It depends. It depends. I think it's always better to be in it than not in it. So, you know, yeah, is my view, but it depends what you're looking for. I mean, 0.2 is not like bad. It's 20 G's. Like, it's better than nothing. Better than nothing, if you ask me. How many conspiracies are little time? Well, I mean, that's it. Yeah, exactly that. Shiba is a real player one. Do you think Shib's like still bullish on Shib? I mean, it feels like that ship is sailing ever so slightly. I mean, when you look at Shib, it's a pretty painful chart. If you think about where Shib was, you know, the OG, you know, I guess DeFi super get people super mega hyped on it. Like, it is literally, you know, down to its nearly lowest point, which is almost crazy. Is that good? So what's going on, buddy? For long term, yeah, look, yeah, I mean, there's loads of consensus right now. Bitwise think it's going to be 1 million, no time at all, you know, over the course of the next, you know, 5 years or whatever it is. So, yeah, I mean, people are very much optimistic on it. Like I said, you'd always rather be in it than not in it. Just my opinion. Just my opinion. But no one's got a crystal ball. You know, who knows what's going to happen? I mean, look at California, for example. They've said, well, if you leave your crypto on exchanges for, you know, 3 years with no activity, they can just come and get it. I mean, that's insane. Should I double down on SHIB? I mean, I'm just not doubling it down on anything at the minute and just sort of waiting and seeing really and seeing kind of what happens. Just my view. We will have our favorites. Look, and by the way, you know, SHIB could absolutely rally. I think the only thing we don't really know is we just got massive disappointments, didn't we? We all thought Pepe was going to do a big thing. Hasn't. We all thought that, we all thought that SHIB would do it. We all thought the meme coin sector would just be great, and it just ended up not. Everyone should have just bought gold, bought silver, bought commodities, and would have been totally fine. Like, the fact that we haven't and everyone's just kind of expected this move. And we did get some nice movements. Back into 2025, it was like, hey, we're bullish. Into the back end of the summer, in October was kind of decent. Rally back 125. Just always feels like we always missed out. That's kind of where I sit, which is why I struggle to be like, man, I just don't feel like the market's over yet. I feel like the market's got more to give. But, sometimes even the best and even the most bullish ends up being wrong. What I think, though, is the fact we had a shallow all-time high probably means we have a shallower bear market, in my opinion. And do I believe in the full, it's the bear market right now? Yeah, I'm kind of like, no, I don't think so. I don't think so, but, yeah, just what it's worth, my opinion. Crypto ETFs are outperforming. Yeah, well, exactly. Yeah, I mean, exactly. Which is kind of insane, really, when you think about it. Do you think Knight will get rug pull like how OMUSDT did recently? I mean, you've got a few recently, haven't you, that you wouldn't expect it. VRA is one, although it's not a rug pull. Don't sue me or anything like that. It's not great what they've done, is it? I don't know is the honest answer. I mean, Charles Hodgkinson's pretty big behind it. It would be a big slap in the face if he decided that it was, because he's put his name to it almost. Have you any thoughts on Pengu, considering it actually well, I mean, we were talking about Pengu actually a bit earlier on. As a meme coin goes, if you look at the fundamentals of Pengu, it's pretty good. NFTs, go and look at what Lucanets is doing. He's obviously the founder. He's integrated and loads of connections, but it's the same old story. It is unfortunately just in Goblin Town right now. I think Pump Fund's going to have another resurface. You look at what's going on with that. Volume's increasing. Narrative's increasing. People are starting to go back to it. People are trading on it. I mean, I can't remember the actual statistics right now, but let's see. Pump Fund stats. Let's have a look. But people are kind of going back to what that looks like. And then how big that could be. So yeah, here we go, man. I need to. Can you guys see this? That's like the brightest thing in the world. Where's the? Okay, maybe I can't. So sorry for the incredibly bright screen, but yeah, I mean, look at this. Total fees in the past year has been $604 million. The only bad thing around this, by the way, is apparently they've been dumping loads of it. Can we change this to? I was hoping we might be able to change it to a slightly different narrative, but this is kind of ticking back up again. I mean, look, daily active users is starting to just filter back up again. So, Pump Fund may come back and, people might be writing Pump Fund. It's up 8% today. So, Celine says, the bear market's just getting started. Oh, bro, no, we don't want the bear market to start. I haven't done enough yet. What about Turbo? Did you think that meme was to get now? Or, I mean, yeah, I mean, we've always kind of touched on Turbo a little bit. I don't know how it's doing today, actually, but, my issue a little bit with Turbo is they were on Coinbase and fumbled the bag, didn't they? So, they got delisted off Coinbase, right? I'm assuming this is the Coinbase DeFi, but it's a hard one because, yeah, it's it obviously got this massive rally. It then started to kind of get back and, started to rally back again. But right now, I mean, at 1873, you're taking a risk. If the market goes up, if the bull market comes in, all of these memes are going to come back. The trouble you've got, though, is not all of them are going to be winners. And that's kind of what you've got to hedge against. That's the difficult bet right now, in my opinion. That is the difficult one. Thanks, Casey. Good man. AI players are Y, Tibet, and Jizzy. Wire is the most speculative, and its future depends on the relationship with decent-sized banks. Yeah, well, I think the whole like TradFi stuff is probably the kicker to everything right now. Because, you know, if you think about who is selling right now? Institutions, OG wallets, like they're the big ones that are selling. Like we need, you know, FOMO excitement to get back into this market. And right now we're just not seeing it. We're not seeing it, and that's a problem. And that's why we're just not getting this kind of move up. So, yeah. Hopefully we kind of get it. Yeah, that's wild. That's wild that TikTok doesn't show that I'm live. Why would TikTok not show that I'm live? That doesn't make any sense, does it? That does not make any sense. Interesting. Everyone's broke. I mean, that's probably true as well. Yeah, no wonder no one sees me. Like you have to go to my page to even see that I'm live. What? What is that about, bro? It literally is showing that I'm not. Look at that. You see that? Look, there should be like a pink ring around me, and there's not. There's not. Someone just sent me that. It is not showing that I'm live. No wonder no one's coming in the live stream. If you go to following, it is. But, you know, if you go to friends, that should be showing that I'm live. It is not showing that I'm live. Why would that be, I wonder? Why would that be? Why would it not be showing that I'm live, just out of interest? Anyone know? Maybe it's the angle. Maybe it doesn't like the angle. The new angle, it doesn't like it. It's like, no, go back to the old way. Tips is definitely not feeling fair. Definitely not feeling full bear moves. We can be bearish during a bull. Yeah, 100%. I know you're going to get corrections in the bull market. Of course you are. Of course you are. Like I said, for me right now, this breakout is still very much on the agenda. The 20-day exponential moving average, this big yellow line, is the kicker. If we break below this 20, that's where we need to be a little bit mindful. At the minute, though, we haven't. This cycle has proven bag holding long-term or anything but BTC has extended. Yeah, 100%. The catalysts of 2026, though, certainly feel like that there is potentially a tailwind. The debate will be how long that tailwind sticks with us versus it becoming a headwind. I need Rec to launch. I almost FOMO'd into Marbits last week, bro. If this market ticks up next week, then we're good to go. Everything's good to go, mate. I just need to press the button, and then we're there. And we'll do it. My view, by the way, just for what it's worth, is we're going to press the button, we'll launch, we'll just let everything settle, and then we'll go for it. That's kind of my view, by the way. That's kind of my view. We'll make sure we're everything's set up, everything's right, everything's done, checked, validated. It's all golden. We got a green tick to go, and then off we go, everybody. So yeah, stay close to the socials, make sure you're in the TG, all of that stuff. Then we'll be all over it. Marbits weirdly has actually been doing all right though. I mean, I don't know who's trading. I think Curtis is one of them out here. Curtis, is it you that kind of does it? But yeah, fair play to people. Like, you know, people are trading their opportunities, and that is the Degens life to do it, isn't it? That is the Degens life to do it. I mean, we've definitely seen a bit of a sell-off right now in it, but yeah, what's it at? 21k market cap. But yeah, someone bought some more today. Kind of crazy to think about it, but yeah, we just get this like mass buying and then mass selling, and who knows where it's coming from? I mean, I have no idea. I still don't know how to get it. All right, fair enough. I can't remember who it was. Someone was saying that they were doing it. Anyway, pretty crazy. Yeah, I had to go through Uniswap. Yeah. It did launch on one exchange, but it just never really worked out. It was on CoinIn, I think it was. Was it CoinIn? Maybe it's CoinIn. Can't remember. Bill, what's going on, buddy? Welcome in. Good to see you. Was it Daniel? Oh, yeah, it was Daniel, wasn't it? Yeah, that's right. What's going on, Fairground? Fairground, quick question. How did you find tonight's live stream? Did it not flag up that I'd gone live? Yeah, Bunker Time. Hey, we appreciate you being here, my man, as always. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Ride the storm. Yeah, you know it. You know it, Fairground. That's what it's all about. That is what it is all about. And yeah, you got to take the good with the bad sometimes. And, hopefully we get there. Hopefully we get there. Fingers crossed. Obi's still trying to join the Markets. I mean, maybe he is. I haven't seen Obi for a while. He did grab his channel membership again. If you guys want a channel membership, by the way, dead easy. It's about $6 a month. Gets you access to the Discord. By the way, dead quick question for everybody. Dead quick question. Has the Discord been less botty? Does that make sense? Because I checked the Discord and yeah, we're getting people like join in and then they sit there because they can't get in because they're clearly bots, and then we just yeet them back out, which is kind of bullish if you ask me. So obviously when you join the Discord right now, you get put into one room. You have to verify you. I kind of like the fact people are starting to put little reactions on. That's kind of cool as well. In fact, and I might just edit message. Once you've completed that, you're in. You have access to the rest of the server. Don't forget to drop your reaction emoji on this post. There we go. There's a couple of Curtises. I'm not sure which one. Oh, Curtis says what? Who's Dan? Stop the boss, mate. Yeah, well, we definitely like that. I think anyway, because let me tell you, earlier on, we had 2 fake 2-bits join, but they can only get to the very first window. That's it. They can't go anywhere else other than the start here. They get the welcome rules and nothing else. They can't get into they get the help screen as well, I think, actually. They get the help. Maybe I change the help bit so that's help specifically for, in fact, that's exactly what I'm going to do. Take it from unverified, take everyone off the ability to see that and make sure that anyone that is, yeah, let's do it that way. So that then becomes a group of, I didn't mean to do that. Then, yeah, keeps it very much aligned to what we want, which is only the people that need to see that, see it. And then I'll create another help one. Although you guys are just type in general chat, wouldn't you, in fairness? You just type in general chat, so good. Good. Check me. Go. I'll have to check the weekly. I don't know what it means, but anyway. Thanks, Casey. Get him, bro. I can't believe TikTok is not sharing my live. That's wild. That's wild that it's not sharing that. It's insane, actually. What, TikTok, why are you not sharing my live stream? Why are you not? Why are you saying that people can't find me? Klaus says, I'm returning BSC meme with strong backing. Cool. BNB Pepe is back. Nice, bro. I had someone talk to me about that the other day, actually. But basically, as I'm an admin, apparently they're making fake accounts of me in the Discord. Well, if we do see fake ones, I check this. So I go in and see, see if there's any fake Curtises. And if there are, they just get yeeted. But as of right now, you are the only one in there, which is good news. You are the only one in there. So yeah, but yeah. If anyone does mess you guys, you just need to say it. I found you in the usual place at the top of the screen. Okay. I just can't understand how we've gone from like getting 1,000 views, 50, 60, 70 people in TikTok to like 10. It's wild. It just doesn't make any sense. None whatsoever. The unfortunate nature of social media, I guess. Yeah, so if you press the live button, then you can see it. But if I just go into friends, it literally just doesn't show me as being live. Tom, hi from the UK, mate. I made a big mistake. Sold my XRP to buy Altcoin. I'm down $60K from. Oh wow, Altcoin. I've never even heard of it. Never heard of it. But you need to go to TikTok and just do random things and mumble. And you get millions of likes. Yeah, can you imagine? Can you imagine? Yeah, I've not seen them either. I assume they've been busy. But like I said, it is what it is. I think if you get hung up on all this kind of stuff, people either like the content or they don't. That's my view. That's my view. So that's the other thing as well that I've had. So I keep getting this thing saying that your battle is ready or something. I'm like, I don't even know what that is. Like, I don't do all that sort of stuff. And I don't think many content creators do. But I don't know if I've ended up like signing up for some random thing that then is like, I'm not doing this stuff. So they're like, right, we're not going to. It has to be something to do with that. I need to have a look at it. I need to have a look at that. Let's see. Anyway, where are we sitting right now on BTC? 90,400. I mean, if you think about it, we're still above 90,000. All right, we're still above 90,000. Let's take that as a marginal, small win. Is probably where we've got to get to, and not much more of it. But yeah, it all depends on market sentiment. Yeah, of course it does. Of course it does. Like I said, I'm trying to make my content a little bit more informative. I'm trying to be a bit more deep researching into it rather than just go on, do a news article that's like, oh, you know, Bitcoin is going to go to the moon, like actually diving deep into what's going on and how it affects the market is kind of where I get. But yeah, this is that news, by the way. Ripple's UK subsidiary gains FCA approval for crypto activity. It basically means that the registration permits crypto-related activities under the money laundering, terrorist financing, and the transfer of funds regulation. It basically means they can offer XRP, RLUSD, and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, look, Fairground. Yeah, I mean, look, that's what we're trying to do in the Discord for sure. Friendly reminder not to. Yeah, that's true. That's true. But yeah, anyway. So yeah, according to Brad Gallion, CEO of Ripple, the milestone in the UK is part of the ongoing commitment to operate within regulatory frameworks and enhancing our service offerings to institutional customers. Like I said, if you saw the AWS video I put out, like it's pretty interesting. Like the whole connection with AWS, what it means, why would they link into AWS? Like if you look at I don't know if this will bring anything up actually. You look at kind of banks that are using AWS. It's pretty wild, in fairness. Halifax, Lloyds Bank, HSBC, you know. Yeah, here you go. Look, here's a list of banks that are using AWS. Capital One, JP Morgan, HSBC, BBVA, NatWest, Barclays, National Australia Bank. I mean, like, these are all pretty crazy partnerships, aren't they? Like, loads of them are. Loads of them are linked onto this. So that's why it's such a big thing. Loads of banks are. Union, Axis, Monzo. Yeah, loads of them integrate with AWS. And then Ripple's doing it as well, which is kind of wild. Tom, what's your price for XRP next time for the next 3 months? I mean, it's hard. It is hard to put price predictions on. It really is, actually. I mean, I was talking about this in the Discord, which is free to get, by the way. And I was looking for a momentum trade off this. So I was saying, look, a potential bounce here off the 20-day EMA with a potential retest of the 200 might actually be a reasonable move. I think it's difficult to give price predictions on specific coins. I think you need to be more broader on this market right now. If the bull market returns, if we see return into optimism and market pushes, where would you expect XRP to go? Outside of any huge announcement, which could happen, by the way. You know, XRP can announce tomorrow that they're integrating with HSBC and the market would go absolutely batshit crazy. But, you know, could we get back to 365? Possibly. If Bitcoin rallied, you know, where do we think Bitcoin's going to go in the next 3 months? You know, if you were to kind of track or try and plot what's happening with BTC, where do you think you're going to get to? Well, let's work it out. I mean, it's difficult, but you'd say, well, what was the 1st of October? And if we follow a similar pattern, where do we get to? Well, October was the high. So, you know, if you took 3 months from now, where do we assume we get to? Do we see this reversal in the market? So, yeah. Reason asking everyone's talking around $10 to $15. I don't think so in 3 months. Unless there is some big announcement. That's the only way. Let's be dead honest. General market structure right now, does it mean that XRP is going to absolutely blast off tomorrow? No, it's going to need a narrative. Now, I guess if you were to say the previous move on XRP, which was all down to, you know, court case and all the rest of it, well, we went from the low range of 48 cents to the top in 71 days. I mean, that's less than 3 months. If you did that, then yeah, you could easily see, you know, we did a 500% gain in 100 days. That's just shy of 3 months. But what was the announcement? Regulation approval, SEC court case got dropped, and we just went on a massive tear. So, you know, if you got that again and you said, well, the banking sector comes in. Let's say we conserve it and say 250%. That's when you get to $7. 15%, $15 seems wild, if you ask me. I mean, you're talking $15 is a similar move to what we got prior, which, you know, is that likely? It's only likely, I think, if we got big announcements, you know, bank integration, way more like actual fundamental usage. HSBC will start to transact, you know, $10 billion a week on XRPL. Maybe then it wouldn't be maybe, you'd get a massive price. Is that likely? Doesn't feel like it just at the minute. So, you know, we'll see. We'll see. Has MicroStrategy bought any more lately? They bought, I think they bought Monday. I don't think it was a massive buy, but they did buy a bit Monday. That's on his weird day. As a trader, I just round trip longs and shorts. Yeah, I mean, I went in on a XRP trade that did okay, in fairness. Did okay. Tight stop loss. I did post this in the in the Discord. Don't forget, link in the bio. So I posted this. This was an XRP trade I was trying to take off the 50 with a tight stop loss as a potential rally at 220, but didn't get there. We didn't get stopped out on it though. Stop loss was at 207. I think one of my kids has just absolutely binned it out of their bed. By the sounds of it. I think they've literally just fallen out of bed. It sounded like someone had just rocketed my house. Yeah, so I did take a little bit of a trade on XRP earlier. Nothing sort of too wild in fairness, but there we go. But yeah, I mean, it didn't stop me out at the minute. Like I said, I don't really want to see any push down much more, but hopefully we kind of hold it up. But yeah, XRP is the only crypto people know about IRL, but I personally don't play with it. Yeah, I mean, that's true. I meant to take a nap and I was asleep like 4 hours, had to wake up. Well, I mean, this volatility in the market was pretty wild, wasn't it? Pretty wild, if you ask me. Oh, man, I'm on the wrong thing. Why am I on this window? Oh, my gosh, what is happening here? Sorry, everybody. There we go. There we go. There we go. If we see 5 USD in 2 years, I'm happy I don't run 100 USD stuff learning that token now for 4 years. Yeah, I get that, Ascari. Yeah, same as I see volatility. Well, I mean, look, we're in the weekend. Weekends tend to be a little bit of the quiet side. So, you know, look, hey, let us see what happens. That's my view. Let us see what happens. Right, everybody, that does bring us to the end of the show. Thank you all so much for tuning in. I appreciate you guys. That is it. Don't forget, I won't be here tomorrow night. Don't stream Saturday nights. Maybe TikTok can sort its life out and stop shadow banning me or whatever it's doing. As always, though, would massively appreciate you guys watching the videos, hitting the like and subscribe button, dropping a comment, doing all that good stuff. If you aren't already in the Discord, check out the link in the description. Jump in there. It's totally free. If you want to get a little bit more access to it, then grab a channel membership. That gets you into the trade group, the bot, and all the rest of it. And yeah, with that being said, let's keep an eye on the markets this weekend. I'll be posting on socials. Keep you guys updated. Look out for content, as always. I appreciate you guys so much. Thank you so much always for the support. And yeah, see you guys back here Sunday night. As always, getting more and more bullish. Hopefully we have a good weekend. As always, hopefully you guys do as well. So thanks so much, everybody. Catch you on the flip side. See you soon.